Hi everyone, welcome to Amanda's Book Corner. I'm Amanda, and this is my review of Black Love Matters, real talk on romance, being seen, and happily ever afters, edited by Jessica P. Pryde. This collection of essays just came out on February 1st, and I picked it up on that exact day and started reading it, and I loved it right away. So I'm really happy that it's out in the world, and I'm really hoping that everyone will read this one because it's really illuminating and powerful and really eye-opening about a lot of things. So I only really started reading romance in the last few years, and there are reasons behind why I didn't read it and then why I eventually did. I'll talk about that in another video that probably comes out this weekend actually. But in any case, it's a new genre for me, and as I've gotten further and further into it, and at the same time I've also gotten further into reading more diversely, I have found that there are certain things that I'm not quite getting in my own readership, and that's largely on me, but it's also a big problem within the publishing industry overall. And so this book really tackles that issue of how there's so little representation of Black people in romance in particular. One interesting stat that was mentioned in a few of the essays in this book is that Black educated women are the most likely to be readers. And with that in mind, it calls into question why, if they're the biggest readers, why there are so few books by Black authors that are published and that center Black lives. And the other main issue that really comes up in this book is how Black joy and Black love are so rarely seen in the media that we have today. In these essays, a lot of the authors talk about their own childhood and adolescence coming up in the world and how they fell in love with romance, but they so often didn't see anyone like them represented in the books that they read. The romances that were available to them were basically entirely by white people, about white people, and for white people. Similarly, you could see that in the movies and the television shows, they were all really made by and for white people. And as these authors say, it was really hard for them as Black people to see themselves in these love stories in the media that they were consuming, and thus it was often hard to envision what love looks like for someone like them. So as you can see, I'm a white person, and I didn't face these kinds of hardships or difficulties growing up, but it really broke my heart to see how so many of these authors talked about how it was so hard to find anyone that looked like them in media in general, but in this case specifically in romances. And it really made me sad that there has been so much resistance historically to publishing books for Black people, and that centers Black people and their lives and their love and their joy. So the essays here are from a variety of Black authors, and they range in different styles. Some are much more academic and include a lot of research. Others are more personal and have their roots in personal anecdotes and experiences that the author has had. And it really gives a very multicolored and very diverse selection of essays that talk about different themes, but they also talk about the themes in different ways. Each essay talks about something different, and some of them are very intersectional. So for example, there's an essay from Kosoko Jackson, which is about Black queer stories, because he is a Black gay man. And we also see one from Adriana Herrera, which is more about being Black and Latina at the same time, and how that certain intersection is so rarely seen in novels. The editor of the book, Jessica P. Pryde, she has an essay in there that's about interracial relationships and how most often the most popular books by Black authors that feature at least one Black character, the other character is white. And so what we're seeing is interracial relationship books being more popular than books about Black love between two Black people. So I thought that was another interesting essay that talked about something that I didn't know about. So I recognize that I am probably not the target audience for this book or for romances by Black authors, but even so, I do want to be an ally in this, and I do think that people of all races should be reading this book and should be reading more diversely in fiction in general, in the romances that they read and that they pick up. And I do think that this is a book that we can all benefit from reading. There's so much racism in the publishing industry, and there's so much racism in the kinds of books that we see in bookstores and how few of them are written by authors of color. And this book has really made me reevaluate the romances that I've been picking up. I said before that I've been reading more romances lately, but I've also been reading more diversely lately, and I've been more conscious in that effort as well. But in reading this book, I've started to notice that I don't think I have enough romances by Black authors on my shelves. There are definitely Black authors that are on my radar and that I have books by and that I want to buy their books by, but I haven't made a great commitment in making sure their books are well represented in the overall romance that I read. So for me, this book has been very eye-opening and very powerful, and I really do think that everyone should read this book. It's something that I really hope leads to big changes in the publishing industry, in the books that are available in bookstores, and just making it so that people are reading more diversely and are centering different kinds of people and their stories and their experiences and their love for each other. I don't understand why so many people think they need to relate to a character, and I don't know why so many white people can't relate to non-white characters. Personally, that's not something that's ever been something that I've noticed in myself. I personally do not read books in order to find myself in a character. I don't usually relate to characters on a deep level, but even so, when I do relate to characters, I feel like it's more about the kinds of experiences they have and what kind of person they are. I can empathize with characters of all races and all sexualities and gender experiences, and I guess I just don't understand why it's so hard for so many people to relate to or empathize with or care for someone who's not like them in some way. That's something that I never really understood, and I guess that's why I get such value and such joy out of reading all kinds of stories. I really do find that I enjoy stories regardless of whether I can identify with the author or the character on some deep level. And like I said, I don't think I need to be exactly like that person to identify with them in some way. I don't know, I'm not wording this very well. What I will say is Black Love Matters is an excellent essay collection, and regardless of who you are and what your identities are, I think this is a book that you should definitely pick up. And now is a great time to read it. It did come out on February 1st, which is the very beginning of Black History Month, but it's also the beginning of the month known for Valentine's Day. So this is a great book that kind of hits on those two themes. So if you can read it in February, you should definitely do that. But even if you miss the month and it's March or April, whatever month it is, doesn't matter. Pick up this book because it's really eye-opening and it really will make you think about the books that you're reading. I also want to mention that out of the many essays that are featured here in Black Love Matters, I am familiar with several of the authors, but there are several that I have not read books by. So this made me want to go check out some of their books as well and read their novels. I read Black Love Matters as an ebook, but I actually loved it so much that I do want to go to the store and pick up a paperback as well. So I'll be doing that sometime in the next week or so for sure. So I flew through this book. It's a really wonderful experience. I gave Black Love Matters 5 stars. So thanks for watching this book review video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And to make sure you don't miss any more of my videos, please ring the bell to get all my notifications. I put out 2 to 3 book review videos like this one every week, as well as 1 to 2 other videos like listicles and vlogs. So thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!